Candyman, 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 can't.
Candyman was released in 1992 and was directed by Bernard Rose. It stars Virginia Madsen and Tony Todd, the absolute king that he is, and is about the urban legend of the Candyman. So when I was little and would have to go to ShopRite with my parents, there was a little movie section at the time, and I used to always go through it and look to see what movies they had. And one of the movies that I always saw without fail there was Candyman and the Boogeyman, but the Boogeyman's terrible. But yeah, so I've always saw Candyman there, and there was always a part of me that was like, I really want to see this movie, I really want to see this movie. And years later, I ended up watching it, and I absolutely love this movie. I mean, it's not like a top tier horror movie, but I would put it up there for some of the greatest horror movies of all time. I mean, I personally think it's better than the original Friday the 13th. I don't think it's better than Halloween, the original one, or the original Nightmare on Elm Street, but I really like this movie. There's so much of it that just speaks to me that I love about it, and that it does so much better than like Friday the 13th, the original one, which I know that I'm crapping on that one a lot, but it's just how I feel. I really like this movie, and I want you guys to like it just as much as I do, and I'm going to explain why I love it as much as I do. So, in terms of pros, the first one that I have is the acting. I mean, Tony Todd does a magnificent job as the Candyman, and Virginia Madsen does a great job as the character of Helen, who's this graduate student who's studying urban legends and myths, and the ones that she's studying, of course, is the Candyman. And she does a fantastic job in that role. She's so believable. When she starts to go crazy because of it, you could automatically see that. She does great. I mean, there was never a moment in this movie where I was like, oh, you didn't do good there, or oh, that wasn't the best delivery. I feel like she puts on such a strong performance, and what makes her performance even better is she's hypnotized in some of the shots. So when she sees or comes into contact sometimes with the Candyman, she becomes entranced in his gaze and all of this stuff, and when he speaks to her. And to get the shot, they would actually hypnotize Virginia Madsen. And those are some of my favorite shots in this movie. They are so gorgeous. Just hearing Tony Todd's amazing, luscious voice in the background during that, just everything came together, and I think those are some of the best shots and scenes in this movie. Another pro that I have is the costume design of the Candyman. I love his outfit. I think that it fits him very well, and that it fits his character. You know, there's not much that I have to say about it, just great job on his costume. Another pro that I do have with this movie is its plot. I think it's made very well. It does a good job of setting up different expectations and completely throwing them out of the water and leaving you in this area of, I don't know what's going to happen. What's going to happen to Helen? Is the Candyman real? Is she just seeing this? Why is her husband such a piece of crap? I mean, it throws so many things at you, and it does great with tension and just suspense building, and it's a trip the whole way through. So the last pro that I have with this movie is the music, which was composed by Philip Glass. He is such an amazing composer, and he does such a great job with this movie. The composition is so strange and leaves you on edge because it's so unnerving, and the chords don't really fit together. They kind of clash a lot, and then you hear just a choir start singing, some like industrial sound. It just is this whole blend and mashup of all of these different things, and Philip Glass just does a great job of painting what we're going to see throughout the movie. So, like I have with every movie, there are cons, and I do have some cons with this movie, with The first one being that the movie has become very corny now because of all the years that's passed by. The blood effects aren't terrible. There's one specific kill that happens which looks kind of fake. The makeup of after this character has passed away is not good. This person's face is like green-blue, and it just doesn't look like they did the best. But other than that, I mean, the kills are very good, and I think the final death of the movie is probably my favorite. It is so well shot, so well made, such a good scene, and just the terror of seeing the room where it happens after it happens. Just a great job and great shot and amazing way to end the movie. But I'm talking about cons and I went to positives. But yeah, so it has become a little bit corny since it was made in the early 90s. But it doesn't take away at all for me. I mean, Suspiria has become kind of corny because of being made in the 70s, but I love that movie as well. I don't think the corn really takes away from the experience of the movie. Another con I do have, though, is that it really isn't scary. The final shot of the movie is quite terrifying, but other than that, there's not a lot that would scare audiences or scare people who watch it. There's a few jump scares that are pretty well made. There's a specific one, which I won't even explain anywhere, so you don't know where it's going to happen. Just know that there's a hook. And somewhere in the middle. That's all I'll say about it. But that jump scare is very good, and I know the people who are watching it kind of jumped a little bit, but other than that, it's not a very scary movie. And I think it also has to do with the fact that it was made in the early 90s, how not a lot of it has held up, but it really doesn't take a lot from the movie. I mean, I'm saying these cons because they are cons, don't get me wrong, but for me, it never took away from the experience of the movie, and I absolutely love it. So I know I was talking about cons, but a final pro that I do have with this movie is its message. It has a very good societal message, and just watch it so you can experience it and enjoy it as much as I did. So overall, I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10, and I 1000% recommend it. It's on Netflix, so please stream it and do everything you can while watching it to pay attention, because there's a remake coming out in 2020 this year, although we don't know if it is a remake or if it's just a continuation of the original story. And there has been a little bit of rumors going around that Todd, the original Candyman, is in it. So I am so excited to be watching that. That is my most anticipated movie of this year, and of course, as soon as it comes out, I will watch it and I will review it. So thank you everyone for watching. Leave a comment down below of any of the movies you would like me to review, or leave a comment if you enjoyed the review. But let's flash forward to the next review.